semifinals. Dark. PartinG. 2021 GSL Season 2. Code S. Africa TV. Freak Up Studio Live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
Day 2 of the round of 4 GSL Code S starts tonight. It's going to be Dark versus PartinG, and I am super excited about what games we're going to have.
It's guaranteed to be better than the other round of 4 match.
Yeah, poor Bunny. He didn't play very well. He got very far, farther than any other Terran, including the round of 8. He went through that, but he did not. Look, it can be overwhelming when you get that close to your dream, your goal. And we look forward to seeing him again in the future.
Yeah,
this will certainly be better. Yes,
but look, yeah, this is an insane round of 4. This is the type of round of 4 that you look at and you just kind of like everything goes like this, like
you kind of go, and your little toes go
like
that.
Your
little toes are going like that.
Yeah, all your muscles just tense a little bit. Yeah, you kind of pull
your
towards.
Your knees are kind of going. Like that.
It's amazing.
It's a great round of 4. I don't even know who to really root for. I mean, Dark is first of all taking out Rogue, which is an incredible feat here. But PartinG is the king of cheese.
Yeah, well, he certainly is, but Dark is like the most aggressive Zerg too in a lot of ways.
Very true.
But here's the thing, like, honestly, if PartinG makes it, we finally have a Protoss champion in GSL after like 40 years or something. Right? Like, who's the last Protoss GSL champion? Is it Zest?
It's been a while.
It's been a long while.
Unfortunately, I think the memes about Protoss, and then the results are, they don't quite match up.
I guess they do not.
In GSLs, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, you could always take that other line, too, though, that they're all just inferior people, and that's why they can't end up taking it home.
You can always go that way, Artosis.
That's a very reasonable line,
That's a very rational way to approach it. We got an interview, guys. Then we go to our games.
In 2021 GSL Season 1, the two players have faced each other, and the fans described it as a round of 4 caliber match. And that matchup has been realized today in this season of the round of 4. And these two players will go up against each other today, Dark and PartinG. Hello. Hello. Congratulations to you both. This season, you guys both started in Code A, but from next season, you guys will be automatically placed in the seasons in the Code S. So Dark, you first. So it's my round of 4 in almost 2 years. So I didn't think I'd make it this far, but I'm really happy to be placed in the Code S next season, so I don't have to go through the group test next season. In the interview, PartinG, you did cry. You're very emotional then. For me, this is a round of 4 in a long time as well. And beginning of the season, I always set my objective as a final stage. I do want to win today. And Dark, you did defeat Rogue, who's always blocked your way to the finals. So how did you prepare for round 4? Well, that is confidential for now. But I did defeat many players during my streams, so I have made thorough preparation ahead of today's match. So PartinG, you did gain a very close victory against Down, and you did make it here to round 4 for today, and you are the build artist. What preparation did you make today? The foreign Zerg players actually contacted me, and they said they will help me with the scrims. And as for the result, I'm sure people will find out if I get into the match, but I am full of confidence today. And Dark mentioned in his prior interview that his next opponent is going to be way easier than Rogue. So, you know, PartinG, Dark might be looking down on you today. So what are your thoughts, PartinG?
제가 접고 돌아왔을 때 모든 게 좀
You know, when I returned to the StarCraft 2
생각을
scene, you know, everything has changed.
원래 이제 제가 좀 더 이제 위인 상태에서 그랬는데 지금
You know, I used to always be the high tier player.
A에서 영호한테 경기 내용 스코어는
And during Code A,
아까웠는데
when I lost to Dark
경기
2-3,
내용에서는 제가 좀
I think my performance was actually better than Dark.
했었거든요. 그래서 그때 경기 생각하면서
So, you know, I'm gonna try to look back on that match and try to play at my best level today. That's right, Dark did defeat PartinG in the Code A of the season, of the previous season. And PartinG says he's gonna win today. What are your thoughts, Dark?
사실 이삭이 형 계정 훔쳐봤는데
You know, I actually saw
아메리카 서버가
PartinG's
하더라고요.
profile in StarCraft 2, and he was playing in NA server,
누구랑 이렇게 연습하는 걸
and I was wondering who he was practicing against.
정말 많은 준비를 한 것 같고.
And it feels like PartinG did make decent preparation today.
열심히 막아보겠다 이렇게
And I'll try to
박명우 선수.
play against him
참두
at the best
선수가
level.
지난 시즌부터 중요한 길목에서 만나고
And the
있는
two players have
선수입니다.
always
과연
met at important times.
승자는 누구일지 마지막으로 서로에게
Who will be the
한마디씩
victor out of these two?
먼저
Before we
원희석
start the
선수.
match, anything you guys want to say? PartinG, you first.
예전에 그 영호랑
Long time ago,
이제 진영 형 내에서 핫식스 한잔 하면서
when I used to have a hot six with Dark at JYP's house,
했는데
we both said that we would win.
진짜로 지금 여기 승자가 제 생각에 우승할 것 같고
And right now, I think the winner out of the two players right now will win the GSL this season.
최선을 다해서
And whoever wins, I hope does win the GSL this season.
우승하자 하시는데요. 박명 선수 마지막 한마디 해주시죠.
Then what about you, Dark?
저도 약간 4강이 아니고 결승에서 만났으면
So I really did hope that I met PartinG in the finals, not around the 4.
정말 열심히 준비해온 만큼.
But since I did make decent preparation, I'm gonna try to perform at the best level today.
명경기를 만드는데 특출난
And these
재능을
two
갖고
players
있는
are
두 선수가
extremely
만났습니다.
famous for making very good matches.
엄청난 감격의 순간이
And whoever wins is gonna be a very emotional moment for them. And one player will be it's his finals in 2 years. For one player, it will be his finals in 6 years. We'll kick it off now.
Dude, I'm so excited for this match. I will say this, though. I think the games are going to be great, but I don't think it's going to be a long day, even if we have 7 games. I think the play style of both of these, and I want to put a little caveat on here as well. They do have very capable late games. I think both these players have shown that in the series we had before this, but Dark is basically the most aggressive Zerg.
Yeah, he's pretty darn aggressive.
He doesn't have to do it, but he does like to do a lot of interesting timing attacks. He definitely likes to mix in usually about 2 rushes in a best of 7.
Yeah,
At least 1 rush in a best of 5.
Might be more here tonight even.
It could be. And then PartinG, look, I think we know he's going to cannon rush once. He does like to do lots of different proxies, lots of very unusual timings. And keep in mind, unlike a lot of the other Protosses that are very good, PartinG has off and on been the best player when it comes to timing attacks. Like, he really knows how to micro perfectly and eke out the absolute maximum amount of damage you can get with these rushes, or these pushes, I should say.
No, totally, and it's really interesting. He was playing with a bunch of foreigners, I guess, for that. I guess we can take some guesses as to who that would be. Some top European Zergs likely on the NA server, maybe some Scarlet games, stuff like that. I wonder though, like what he actually has prepped, because there's so many games of both of these players out there, right? And I'm wondering to myself, like, is Dark gonna go lots of like pool first builds and stuff to deal with a lot of the shenanigans that PartinG has up his sleeve? And the thing is, if PartinG can look at this and say, yeah, he's going to play like that, can he then maybe pull back and play more macro-esque? Can he just like absorb 12 pools and go into Sky Toss and win? Like, I don't know what to even think about it, but I think it's going to be an excellent series. And also, there is the sickest record that PartinG's going for. PartinG actually holds a ton of records, but he might get one tonight that no one literally can ever get, ever. And that is, if he makes it to the finals, he's been to finals in Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm, and Legacy of the Void, and he'll be the only one ever.
That's insane, dude.
Like, I don't think that there's even another player active that can do it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I think everyone else from that era is basically retired, except maybe DRG?
Maybe. We're ready, guys. This is a best of 7. Dark versus PartinG. The winner goes on to face off against Trav in the GSL Finals.
Well, it's not a quick pool.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Dark.
I think this game is not going to be representative of the other games. I mean, you know, the 4-player map and everything.
Totally. And I think, having a 4-player map to open, it's like
PartinG.
much less likely that you're going to see things like Cannon Rush, because you can't just know where they are.
Right.
So, kind of an interesting first map to have. Dark is the one that chose this as the opening map, so wants to start off on the right foot. I bet you game 2, though, is like a 12 pool.
Yeah, or a Cannon Rush or something crazy.
Yeah, or both. Both tastes. So we see in Legacy of the Void, PartinG actually has a slight winning edge.
Dark is looking extremely strong, though. I think Dark might actually look a little bit stronger than PartinG coming into this. I mean, especially with his performance leading up to this. But PartinG, the problem with PartinG is that he's hard to prep for.
Yeah.
SOS has been like that, but SOS hasn't had the same success. It does seem like PartinG is continuing to be on the rise and continuing to improve. Where SOS, the eccentricity is still there, the creativity is still there, but he doesn't deliver the same kind of results as PartinG.
Yeah, well, PartinG has like very refined stuff that he's going after. Also, he seems to just play like a strong macro game in general as well. I'm very interested to see which tech he's going to go for. Like, I think it'll be Stargate, but we've seen a lot of, like, for instance, Blink Disruptor type play on this map with Disruptor pushes to try to just kill them off right away. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, well, he gets Warp Gate first, so I guess probably Twilight then, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, PartinG, I want to point something out as well, is that I think there's oftentimes the stereotype that the guy that does do the aggressive stuff does it because he can't play macro games. It's not true with PartinG.
Yeah, it's certainly
And some of the other players that are just known to kind of come in there and do something quite aggressive. PartinG is more than capable of playing out a macro game, but I do still think Dark is one of the fiercest macro game players out of all the races that there is.
No, he's excellent at it, but he plays a very mid-game heavy style. Like, he's not actually, like, I mean, he'll even go to Hive, but it'll be like mid-Hive. Like, late Hive, he doesn't play as much, right? Like, he'll be, like, one of the first things, for instance, is ZVT. A lot of times you'll open with Ultras, and then you'll go into something else afterwards. He'll do that, right? Or, like, very oftentimes he'll be on, like, Roach Ravager ZVZ and not want to go into Lurker and Viper. And, that's something that we can see in this matchup as well, where it's like, will he go directly into that Supreme late game area, or will he hang out in the mid game and try to get his value there? Now, it is a Stargate opener. Did get that Stargate after the Warp Gate upgrade started. Here comes that first Void Ray.
And the Void Ray doesn't necessarily telegraph the intentions of the Protoss right now. It's one of the reasons why this is always a great decision to tack into, is you don't know, is he going to just make one? Is he going to tack up into carriers, or is he going to keep making Void Rays? And we do have a second Void Ray on the way.
Yeah, Twilight as well.
And so the idea behind this is that the Void Ray and the Adept combined can basically hold off anything that the Zerg is going to try to throw at the Protoss. You could basically deal with that pretty easily. And this means we do have a slow start here. The Zerg can't attack the Protoss. The Protoss has no intentions of attacking right away. And so, yeah, I mean, we're gonna. This is gonna pan out into a macro game. We should also point out this map, besides being a 4-player map, has a kind of odd configuration in that it is more quadranted than any other map I think we could think of.
Yeah, for sure. You're right on that.
So because Zerg, by the way, each quadrant has 4 bases on it if you count the starting location as well. And so it can be tough if we go into a long game, which I don't think we are because we see Queens inbound here. But
yeah,
if this game goes past that, you want to watch out because Zerg trying to stay ahead of Protoss. Protoss can get onto 4 bases. The Zerg getting on the 5th can be hard. But there's Queens inbound here, which means that he's going to try to dogpile onto this. This is the only kind of attack you can do against this early on, damaging the Void Ray already, coming in now.
Yeah, but you know what? He's going to go ahead, cancel that. He has a bunch of gates finishing up just about now, and he has charge coming, right? So the cancel has occurred, and the Queens actually turn around, PartinG making a ton of shield batteries. But I got to say, Dark turning around with those Queens, that's a great move.
Yeah.
And these 5 shield batteries aren't actually going to be that useful because Dark is droning. He's already done what he needed.
Yeah, so the 5 shield batteries is certainly overkill here.
Yes.
I mean, that could have been gateways or anything else.
Yeah.
But I think especially gateways. And so a good cancel, gets rid of 2 of them, but still, I think right now Dark has played his hand very smartly here.
Yeah.
PartinG was wise to cancel, but PartinG's overreaction could be punished a little bit here.
Totally.
Now we've got the Void Rays and the Warp Prism coming down. I doubt this is the kind of attack that PartinG was prepping for, but
no.
I think right now he's trying to basically make this work for him.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something. Here he comes and tries to tank some with those Voids and has to pull back. Just way too many Queens right there. There's that warping of charge lots. Has a fair amount of them.
He does supply block with that Overlord kill. That's pretty big. There's a second Overlord he might be able to take out as well. And the Zealots are going to come in. The Roaches are actually stuck behind. Some of them unable to attack up here in the front.
The Zealots, though, are going to get cleaned up. Like, the damage output of these Roaches and Queens is just a little bit too high. Yeah, nothing really working for PartinG here in game number 1.
Very unimpactful attack. It basically bounced off the army there of Dark. And PartinG's in a pretty unhealthy position right now.
Yeah.
He can try to take a late 3rd.
He's done so little. Look at that. And don't forget, he canceled a Nexus. He made all sorts of shield batteries he didn't want. It looks bad. It looks bad. But it seems like he's going into Disruptor Tech. He has the Dark Shrine. Nothing came of that either. Maybe he can make that work a little bit later on. But right now, yeah, I think this is his best try, is to go Blink Disruptor. Like, that's whenever you're in, like, a really kind of bad spot, and I don't mean just like a little bit behind, but like you're actually quite behind and like leaving the game wouldn't be that bad an idea. Go Disruptors, right? You get a few really great connections and then suddenly maybe the game can turn around.
The creep spread is getting pretty nice here, especially once Zerg gets the creep over to that bottom right quadrant. It's going to be in pretty good shape. I think we need to basically wait and see if PartinG is able to deflect an attack on that 3rd base, because I think the strategy from Dark from here on out isn't actually that complicated. It doesn't need to be. He just needs to smash that 3rd base and then run back.
Oh yeah, if he smashes a 3rd base and runs back, that's you have to leave the game, I think.
Yeah.
I think the game kicks you out at that point. It's the same as losing all your buildings.
It's one of the loss conditions, man.
Not having a 3rd base at 9 minutes is like,
Okay, diving in here.
All right.
Oh my God, that was amazing. But is it enough? I mean, we're seeing so many Roaches here to the point where PartinG's trying to kite his entire army back through this pretty narrow passageway. outside of the wall in here, the Nexus is just getting destroyed. He could even take out the Cybernetics core as well.
Honestly, Dark should just target down that Nexus.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, he's going for the kill right now, which, yeah, I guess Dark didn't take a 4th base,
It
right?
wouldn't kill him to take out the Cybernetics core, to be honest. Just, it's a pretty valuable asset.
It's better to attack the wall right now than anything else, really, because if you're trying to single file through against disruptors, that's not going to work.
And he just leaves. Creep is close enough. He might bleed out a few units, but basically everything gets on the creep. He can run back, he can regroup, arc, and then push the Protoss back. And again, from here, I don't know that it is actually physically possible for Protoss to win.
He's only down 90 supply.
I mean, I think even with 3 good disruptor shots, the army still comes in and actually beats this.
Yeah, maybe if he loaded his army into Overlords and let the Stalker shoot that down as well. Oh, okay, I mean, great disruptor shots. Definitely getting some very good hits, but my gut feeling is that you're correct, that even with good disruptor shots here, it's a very, very tall order.
The 4th base is being filled in. I was going to mention, this is a map you could try to hide a base if you wanted to, but I just don't know. I mean, I think the idea is not bad here for PartinG to try to like push out and see if he can't do some damage, because if he's attacking, he's still basically defending his 3rd, but Zerg just has too much, so that's going to be a quiet end to the first game. Dark takes it. The ending not as important really as when that those batteries were forced out.
Yeah,
Dark came in there. It looked like it was a timed attack. I don't know how true to it Dark was being, but he definitely made it look like that. It did cause PartinG to cancel the Nexus. The travel distance is not that big. The mistake from PartinG was that he basically went too hard into the shield batteries and then hiccuped his progression from there.
PartinG was playing pretty blind, too. He didn't go Oracle or anything. He didn't have any scouting intel, so the Queens were very close, and he had to just make do with what he had, and he felt he had to cancel. I think he was correct, he had to cancel, but
I think so.
This happens when you gamble like that. No Oracle or anything to see anything like that coming.
But that's not going to represent the rest of the games that we're going to see here tonight. That's the only 4-player map we have. Now we go to Romanticide for Game 2. Right now, Dark with a 1-0 lead over PartinG.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Dark. PartinG.
I'm so incredibly disappointed that we're 2 games in and I don't see a Forge. I'm so disappointed, you know?
I think my favorite part of this tournament this season has been the one pylon blocking the ramp.
Yeah.
Versus Solar, where we're like, oh, all right.
When I saw that, I knew that PartinG was the greatest gamer.
Yeah. He's like, well, he's still checking to see if you can get away with that. And it's so funny.
Dude, yeah, no, that when you find something that's so broken like that, it's just, it's so funny. Like, did you... I think you heard about this, where you remember that terrible RTS Grey Goo?
Oh, I played it. Yeah, I tried it out. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had some big tournament, and at the finals, I heard about this. I think Huck was casting, and he told this story where, like, everyone was playing Grey Goo except this one guy that was playing, like, the humans, because he figured out a way to make it so that you didn't have to make, like, the electric roads that powered everything, so he just built stuff near him and he was killing everyone. And then they disqualified him in, like, the top 4 or something. He was just wrecking everybody. God, I have to dig that up,
I love stuff
actually.
like that. I love it.
I don't remember it perfectly, but it was something down that vein.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, that's like the same thing that happened to Solar, where PartinG's like, yeah, look at this, the map's broken. It's like
I can block your ramp with 1 pylon. Literally, that's it.
It's the only time it's ever happened.
Nobody fixed that. Did you notice that? Guess what? It's not my job to tell them either.
yeah. It's so funny.
I didn't swear an oath where I told them I'd have to tell them about map exploits. So here I am.
Yeah.
I actually do what I need to do to win.
Yeah. God, I love it so much. Right, so it throws a Stargate down in the drone's face. Normally we don't actually have a drone in the main base at this time.
Yeah.
This is pretty uncommon. So interesting to see that Dark has made this choice, because it is clearly a choice, right? Like, it's not like he couldn't have gotten the drone home. But that's a really high quality scout. I mean, he sees the Stargate, it's like halfway done. You're not going to cancel that. It's like almost not even worth it to cancel.
I'm glad you pointed that out with the drone, because it could be easy for somebody to look over, but it basically makes PartinG stay honest. And I think honesty is something, when you scout PartinG, you're never sure about what you're seeing, if it's going to actually be what's coming later. And maybe he goes for a Void Ray. Maybe we actually have a game that's a lot like the last one. I mean, I said it wasn't going to be like that. Oh, but hold on. 10 Lings are coming, and Ling Speed's about to finish.
Yeah, a little group of Lings. There are some Adepts out on the map right now. Oracle is on the way. The 2 Lings that run in do get to see that as well, which is super nice. Got to watch out, though. These 2 Adepts definitely can be taken out. He spotted them. He knows where they're at. Sees the Lings. All good. He'll cancel that Shade. And yeah, I guess we just get into the game and see what he wants to do. So Oracle into Void Ray. Of course, we never know how many Void Rays you want. You know, you can do things where there's 1 Void Ray, 2, 3. You can go 2 Stargate Void Ray. You know, that's the type of build where Dark's build actually can fall apart, but he called the bluff. Not as many people are doing that right now in Korea. We have a lot of lesser Void Ray builds where you're just kind of counting on not getting all in because it dies so hard to regular Void Ray builds.
Nice little placement here with the Adepts. There should be the Void Ray. Yeah, there it is. The Void Ray is going to come over here and clean this up. And does not get any denial over there, but getting rid of the Adepts is not bad. On the Zerg side of things, we're seeing development continue on.
Yeah, Overlord comes in and sees
Dark with the scouting,
else.
man.
Oh, but he just started air weapons. I mean, if you're going air weapons...
Sick.
Yeah.
By the way, Dark has been so on top of scouting. That's the 3rd scout.
Yeah, and this is actually extra tricky, because to go in there and see nothing making out of that Stargate, you would definitely think like, oh, okay, he's probably throwing down like a Twilight and a Robo in the natural right now or something like that. Of course, when he scouts up again and sees the Cybernetics core spinning, then he can figure it out.
I think the gateways are late enough, though. He might actually expect this is coming.
Maybe.
It's so empty inside the main. There's not even the setup to try to make more gates, you know, that...
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Possibly. I feel like I would my #1 guess as a Zerg there would probably be like, as the Overlord went in, the tech went up at the natural, you know? Like Twilight Robo Forge, something like that. But okay,
he sees, he knows.
That was the important part. Seeing that spinning Cybernetics core, that's like, okay.
It's one of the dangers about having the Cybernetics core there in the front is, you know, you're not looking at that and thinking Warp Gate or anything, obviously. You know, it's like you get there, you go, okay, well, that can only mean one thing.
Air armor for observers.
Unless you're so meta, like PartinG's like the greatest gamer ever, and he's got like a bunch of gateways, and he's just upgrading air armor right there, air weapons, just to throw him off.
That would be a great move. And I mean, some sort of middle of the road thing can occur with that as well. Like maybe he gets that right now for 5 voids, but then doesn't utilize it. Of course, it'll come in handy later if he goes carrier or something like that. We do see the Forge and Twilight on the way. So wouldn't be surprised to see him go up into High Templars or into Charge. I think anything else would be kind of weird. There's the Charge.
Okay,
Goodbye,
nice
Oracle.
trap there on the Oracle. And Void Rays are continuing to come out in pairs here. We have, like you were saying, the Charge coming. More gateways are filling in here. Would the next upgrade be air weapons too, or would you try to get air armor?
Well, he doesn't have like the fleet beacon. I think you just skip both for now. Like, if you're gonna go heavier air later, you can just kind of start the upgrades then. Yeah, there's the fleet beacon. Stargate, 3rd Stargate coming up. So he's going to have charge lots, but it definitely looks like carriers, so I would definitely say get your +2 air weapons when you can. It's always such an important upgrade for carriers. Archives coming up. Of course, we have a lot of queens being made as well as pathogen glands here.
Yeah,
as Festers out.
As these gateways finish, that macro engine is really going to be set up here for PartinG to produce quite a bit, but an extremely slow game to start off game 2 here. I'm kind of impressed. It's really not what we expected at all. Like, even Game 1 was a little bit of a tit-for-tat strategically, and I think PartinG just overcompensated at one point in the game. I shouldn't say overcompensated, overreacted at one point, and Dark
I think
basically
he got caught a little bit too.
Yeah, and then Dark, catapulted ahead. But in this game, we're going straight into heavy macro. Carriers are now coming.
Honestly, it makes sense in a way when you think about it. Romanticide is a very turtleable map, right? This is a map where, like, for instance, you see mech here more than any other map. It's just
true.
like the layout of it. The third base is so hard to attack, and then you have like you have that fourth that's just kind of down the ramp, and then that. I mean, you don't have to take as your fifth, but the one behind the mineral patches that's on its own little high ground kind of in the center. It's just like a map where it's really hard to actually attack in. You either go way around to the third, which you can see here he walled completely, or you go up the main ramp, and it's like, yeah, I guess this is a good map for us to not really attack each other on.
Yeah, it does sort of lend itself to a very turtley style of play. There's not much incentive to really try to attack in right away. But with the supplies, building up as they are right now, there is going to be a moment here where we are going to see that push come from Protoss. Zerg still has plenty more bases they can try to gobble up on their side of the map.
Yeah. Hive is done, like triple Evo, Neural coming up. Love to see it.
Yeah, Dark really filling out all the aspects of his tech tree.
Even getting that Ultraless Cavern. Ultras definitely can be an integral part of fighting against Skytoss at times. Pretty good for taking out High Templars underneath the carrier army. And I mean, this is going to be a kind of crazy game.
So we're just getting further and further along here, and I'm actually kind of excited to see how PartinG's going to handle this. Let's think about the last time we saw PartinG in a drawn-out and chaotic game. He handled it really, really well. He was actually much better once the actual fighting started, but so far this game has been extremely passive. Nobody's really engaged each other at all in any meaningful way. It's just been scoutings, peeks here and there.
Well, since some Ultras are being made, like everything is being gotten. Look at that. Like Dark is just getting absolutely all the upgrades. I'm very interested that he's actually making some Ultras right now. It actually might end up working out. I think there's only like one Immortal out. So those Ultras could end up being very, very useful.
I think that tech group gets a little bit
Immortals.
overlooked, when you have all these Void Rays and carriers. And so the push is coming now. Adrenal Glance is going to finish as the armies are going to be meeting. He's going to try to tear down these rocks first. He wants to have healthy circulation moving through here, because right now it's just a bottleneck. Tearing that down makes it much easier. There are Banelings now being made. They haven't finished up yet. There's a ton of Queens down here at the bottom as the Void Rays have been powered up, and we're getting to hit each of these Ultralisks before they can really connect with any targets.
Oh my god, the Brown Cloud thing is actually doing its job right now. Giving that extra armor. Look at that beautiful Neuros go down.
The Neurals are sick, dude. They just completely wiped out the Void Rays, but is that actually going to be enough? As we're watching the ground fight over here, it's just Queens remaining, a couple Roaches, really no ground army now at all here for Protoss. Some Zealots warping in behind to try to fill in that spot, but it does look like Dark, as the dust settles, comes out on top, driving him away.
All the interceptors are gone. If that weren't the case, obviously he could clean this up, but it's going to take him a little bit to get those back up. A lot of Ultras being added back in, Queens, Infestors. Such an interesting and cool composition here from Dark. But PartinG is not done. He wants more.
Yeah, he's going to try to come in again. With these Banes hatching, though, this could wipe out a lot of these Zealots pretty quickly here. Another Ultras does come in. Again, all these carriers have been remaking their interceptors. But again, it just seems like Dark is shutting this down over and over and over. And, carriers, they're strong only up into a point. When you shut down the interceptors, it really takes the wind out of the sails of the push. You have to go back, you have to remake all those interceptors, you have to group back up. And he basically didn't make a dent in what Dark had. Dark shut it down as it came. He's continuing to grow. The creep is frankly getting out of hand here at the bottom and top right.
Yeah, and he's still basically maxed out, so very good job here from Dark. Continuing down that path. Lots of Infestors, Ultras, Queens. I'm not sure the story of those two Banelings, but okay.
Yeah. He might have thought that expansion was already done.
Oh,
He was going
yeah.
to catch
Just
probes
kinda-
there, but it was, yeah.
Well, I appreciate the effort.
So missile attacks +3 is about to finish up. Dark is continuing to grow. It's a little bit awkward here for Parting because you don't want to get rid of those carriers. Not that they're bad anyways, but you know, when you're relying on the carriers being part of the composition, you're basically relying on interceptors being alive during the fights for long enough that you can start to swing the fight into your favor. By the way, Bane's now coming in, forking out in 2 different directions, connecting on 20 probes.
Crazy.
Big kills there.
Yeah, 21 probes going down is pretty rough. He is just about maxed, so that'll give him some time to refill his probe count, but obviously we see no bank here for Parting, which is going to make it a bit harder. Now, 2 Spires just started, so that's like an important thing to mention here. There's no Corruptors, so it's like, okay, so we're going to have Fungals, Neurals, Queens, and Vipers here with Parasitic Bomb. Let's see if that is going to be enough. Throws down the double Parasitic Bomb. Love to see that as well. The Ultra's trying to come forward here, but there are Immortals in the back, so those are going to get knocked out.
Archons are just countering the Void Rays so easily here. And then you can see these Ultras slowly chipping through this. I like that one Immortal getting harpooned up there onto the high ground.
Oh, they're helping him flank. Nice. And the Immortal's really punching everything back now. Zealot's being warped in as well. The Queen's not going to fight so well against this ground-heavy army. Another Neural goes down on that Archon.
Yeah, and we see the Queen number beginning to diminish, but we know a lot of these eggs are going to be hatched in a second. There is going to be more a supply explosion here in a second from the Zerg. The probes are not refilled.
Oh, no.
That's so bad for Parting right now.
That's
because
painful.
We didn't have any hatcheries killed off here. That was another neck-and-neck fight, but Parting's basically on 4 bases when he should be on 5.
Yeah.
The 4th base right now is just a paperweight.
It is. He's going to send some down now. Oh, it's going to actually just fall.
Oh, boy. Oh, dude, get the Nexus. Okay.
Yeah. Painful there. He's got so few minerals, and he's having to replace the interceptors. Not that they're that expensive, but when you have this little money and you've taken a bunch of damage to your economy, it does add up. It's really interesting. You see Dark, the way that he's fighting this, you never see anyone fight this quite this way. Most people by now would have given up and gone 40 Corruptors, and we'd be headed towards a 36-minute game.
yeah. No, Dark's definitely got, I think, a better, more efficient way to handle this. It doesn't interrupt the flow of his game.
But shouldn't Parting pull back? Like, Ultra Queen won't...
Well,
I mean, it won't scale beyond a certain point, right? Like, the more army you get, the worse that's going to be.
I think Parting feels like he needs to make something happen pretty quickly here. I mean, Dark right now is expanding and not even defending it in the bottom.
Yeah.
He's just kind of growing everywhere, and it seems like Parting really actually wants to fight the army.
Yeah.
Look at how many Banes are over here.
9 Archons here, by the way. The Banes roll in and do get blown up. The Immortals starting to really do heavy damage here as well.
I mean, the ground army just doesn't have enough presence here. These interceptors are going to be cleaned up.
Dude, that was 9. It was. Well, actually, he's killing everything off. The Zealots coming in from that prism. The Immortals come in as well. I mean, Parting is starting to break through.
Yeah, but again, I think when all the eggs hatch, he's got 10 Lynx, 5 Ultras.
He's still got interceptors, though. That was the main thing holding him back before, was he was losing all his interceptors in the battle here. But this time, it seems like he's kept enough alive that he still has huge damage output with this army.
We also don't have Queens being made. Well, we have 1 Queen being made, but we don't have enough Queens, I think, to...
Dark's broke, too, man. This is not a high bank late game carrier. PVZ, right?
No, this is a scrappy PVZ with carriers. So the base at the top has been taken out. It's been decimated. But I don't feel like Parting is correcting what he needs to correct on his side of the map. Like, the fights are exciting, but when we go back and see, like, nothing's mining.
Yeah, he's going... It's like he's trying to kill the entire time. And he's making these armies that are, like, pretty crazy against the very ultralisk heavy. And look, he's killed 1 hatch, he's killed 2 hatch. I think he's picking off Queens. I think Parting is pulling ahead.
Yeah, I kind of underestimated Parting's momentum after the first 2 attacks were shut down. You know, normally after you see 2 major attacks like that fail, the 3rd isn't going to be as effective. But I also think Dark might have underestimated his ability. You see now Corruptors have been made.
Yeah.
As Dark is beginning to respect the army composition of PartinG here, but there's not enough Corruptors coming out at once. And although Dark is dominating on the ground, PartinG continues to push here from the air.
Yeah, that's so true, and we're seeing more Corruptors added in right now. The Ultras, they come up, and the Overcharge insta-use there to keep that Archon alive.
Now this is actually a lot of gas that can be lost here if these Ultras are just picked off.
This is such a crazy game. Like, it feels like each and every time PartinG is like was increasing his ground army, because like the first attack had like 2 Immortals and like 3 Archons and then a bunch of charge lots, and then by that last one that finally broke through, 9 Archon, 4 Immortal. Does he need to get back into an army that looks like that? Does he need to go for like a more ground-based army now that Corruptors are being added in?
I don't know. He's going to push in now. Honestly, man, if PartinG could take out the 2 6 o'clock positions, I think PartinG can actually win this game. It's kind of a funny fight, too. It's like a long, drawn-out battle where Dark keeps winning on the ground, but the carriers are basically what is the most important. It's also funny because all the Neurals are working for Dark, by the way.
Well, it was so funny to hear you while you were casting. You're like, yeah, the Archons are really countering the Void Rays.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Tasteless, you're all right about that.
It's true. It's true.
That's what I'm seeing as well. It sounds funny to say, though.
Now, PartinG's really grown into the bottom left here as well.
Does Dark even have spellcasters anymore? Like, I haven't seen a Viper or an Infestor in quite some time, it feels like.
He's been going for Elephants for a while now, man.
Yeah, so if you're going just units and not spellcasters, what we should be seeing out of PartinG, like the right counter to that, would be just to continually add Archon Immortal.
Yeah, I think
Forget
so.
about everything else, because if he gets enough Archons and Immortals, this, like, Ultra Ling Bane will end up dying to that.
Yeah, you just need something that can shred up all this.
Yeah, you need to crush the ground army.
Yeah, you need splash damage and then Immortals. And, you know, Dark is sending these little Baneling squads out. They're not actually connecting on workers. This base in the bottom, I think, is actually not defended at all.
Oh,
I think there's literally nothing here. Yeah, he just takes it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a base trade now. The Ultra's coming in, trying to take out this base. That Immortal doing some serious heavy lifting.
He's going to recall back here, and I think he can actually then, with the ebb and flow of the game, push back into the other 6 o'clock spot.
Yeah, the Ultras might run around. I think the Ultras are going to just keep trying to run around, though. Look at this. He loses another one of his own bases.
What a funny game. It's like different parts of the map are getting occupied for like a little bit, but then it gets squished, and then you see the rotation to the other side. Like we saw Dark in the upper right growing there. Shut down, he grows into the bottom left. Same thing for PartinG. Upper right growth, now down into the bottom left.
The Ultras coming up for another counterattack here. The Immortals are coming to fight them, though. They can't fight that. He's basically got enough. I'm like stuttering over my speech because there's so many Immortals now.
Yeah.
The Ultras are going to start getting one-shotted.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to run into this, and it's just like pop, 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 pop.
The Immortals are going to 360 no-scope the
absolutely
the
are going to do that.
Man.
My God. What are you going to neural to counter the Immortals? Wait a minute. Only Immortals counter Immortals.
So the game's quieted down for a little bit. I think Protoss is trying to tie up all their loose ends back at home. Good block with those Lings trying to get into the main here. That
I forget
Ultras when they
burrow
actually with their little butts in the air are so cute and funny.
Yeah.
With their corgi butts.
Right, the Immortal Army coming up to clear out those corgi-butted Ultras.
I never noticed how corgi-butted they are, but they are.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Okay, this is a
burrow
great
everywhere. This is
super annoying.
Cool.
But I do worry about this battering ram push coming down here in the south.
Yeah, it seems like the army is a bit better, but we do have a Broodlord being made. We also have the one
We do have a Broodlord and a Swarmos. We're going to try to make the box art army here.
Yeah.
All right, pops his hatchery like a pimple. Now, was he going to go down to the south, or is he going to try to defend? Keep in mind, both these armies are kind of clunky. I mean, Lings are fast, of course, but Ultras are not. They don't really get there that quick.
These burrow moves are doing so well.
We're going to have another corgi butt burrow here from the Ultra.
I don't think so.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
he takes out 6.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage going around. And still, I think PartinG's army can fight this all still. But his economy is really getting low. Like, look, it is a lot of corruptors. I guess the problem is going to be when the carriers die, the corruptors are going to turn into brood lords, however many can. Obviously, Dark does not have a big bank right now, but he is maxed out, so he's going to start working on a bank.
And where are we at as far as bases with minerals? I mean, PartinG basically has one functional base. Well, hold on.
Functional, you say?
Hold on, functional. Sorry, I meant
boy.
Ghost Town. That was the word I was looking for.
They're angry ghosts, too.
Yes. But now PartinG's going to give up on his bases, and this is actually going to be insane. I actually don't know where this is going to go. Hold on.
Yeah, this is
I think Dark has more momentum. I don't know where all the probes are. We would need to get probes under this army.
Dude, this is an actual base trade.
Yeah.
They are going to kill each other's buildings. PartinG is spreading out, killing what he can. He needs to send some units up to that top right base, and he needs to recall.
He has no probes.
Okay, he's recalling now. He has a few probes.
All right.
He has 6 workers.
6 is, you know, almost 0.
But hold on, he's like killing all the tech. I don't think he realizes the top right base has full mining going on.
Yeah, I think there was a blind spot when he was trying to just smash through everything. And also, wait, how much?
No!
Oh!
You can't be losing those immortals. But look, he got the Greater Spire, so you actually can't turn these into broods anymore.
Yeah.
So that's actually huge. Look at this. This game is insane.
I think Dark still wins, though.
Oh, no, it's alive! 34!
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's crazy.
If only Zerg buildings burned down like Terran ones.
Gotta get rid of that creep, I guess.
Now, I think PartinG is stuck, though. I think he can't go out on the map and attack anywhere unless he's going to fraction off part of his army. That's probably the only play.
Yeah.
Thing is, okay, so there's a lot of supply for Zerg, but I think it's mostly in corruptors.
Yes, for sure. You're right.
So, like,
the actual army of PartinG is better, but he's very fragile to counterattacks right now. The corruptors or the ultras can run in and kill his buildings in like 2 seconds. I think he needs to leave like 2 immortals and
I think like one immortal and 2 archons or something.
Something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and just
yeah.
Go out and just because. Excuse me. Because if he doesn't take out these 2 top right bases.
Yeah, look at this. He's trying to zone that out. Okay, the immortals coming up here. The ultras.
You gotta watch each of these ultras. If Dark miscontrols one. What is this?
Oof. Yeah, gets that one shot. Very big.
Okay, hitting this base, and we don't have a recall. Boom, it's out. Immediately runs away. Smart move. Doesn't want to overextend. I think the end is almost here.
Yeah.
I think PartinG, had he taken out the upper right base,
he's just looking for him to leave so that he can jump on everything.
Okay, and Dark does not care. He is coming in here, and he is going to decimate everything, and then he's going to run back out.
Yeah, it's such a good play.
Yeah. Very smart. Actually, yeah, he has enough links. He can just take out the Nexus. And
yeah,
run.
I think he literally can't save his buildings. This is going to be an actual elimination.
GG.
Yeah.
Quite the series so far. Dark's up 2-0, although I don't think Dark is going to win this 4-0. That was a great close series.
Yeah, that was super close. Like game 1, things went wrong for PartinG. This was a very, very close one. It was a big macro game too.
Yeah.
And like PartinG, it felt like maybe he could have won that if he realized a little bit earlier how heavy ground-based Dark was actually going to play this game. It was such a different way to play against SkyToss.
Yeah. Again, we haven't had any real super aggressive plays from either of these guys yet. It's been pretty conservative games so far. Pretty brainy, actually, especially game 1. But we still got a long night ahead.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what PartinG's going to have for us in game number 3. But first, I think we got to go to a quick little commercial break.
That is correct, guys. Little break, and when we come back, game 3, Dark versus PartinG.
함께 모이면 홈파티. 홈파티엔 먹방. 먹방엔 칠성사이다. 맛있어. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함. 칠성사이다.
퇴근하고 뭐해?
퇴근하고? 오늘은 유 셰프, 내일은 유러너, 주말엔 유목수.
그걸 다?
본캐부터 부캐까지 하고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피. 칸타타 콘트라베이스.
이번 주 등산 어때? 등산 캠핑? 그래서 주말엔 낚시?
내가 낚인 거지.
그래도 나오니까 좋잖아.
일상에서 취미까지 나누고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피 칸타타. 아이시스 8.0을 챙긴다는 건 건강한 생각까지 챙긴다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0. 아이시스 8.0을 연다는 건 조금 이른 아침을 연다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0.
디자인하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
자, 준비되셨죠?
언제나
준비되셨죠?
네, 됐습니다.
꽂혔다면
쏟아부어 인생 직진 음료.
하나씩 단체 개봉. 또
쏟아부어 인생 음료.
하나씩.
그러면 사이 웃으겠는 걸? 꽂혔다 안 꽂았고 인생 음료?
뭐야 이거? 포스가 느껴지십니까?
꽂혔다면
치료되는 그 포스가 느껴지십니까?
전혀. 하나씩. 꽂혔다면
인생 음료.
이게 사이 마시지. 기가 막히네.
꽂혔다면 쏟아서 인생 직진 음료.
하나씩.
기분이 좋아요.
인생 음료.
꽂혔다면 쏟아부어.
잠깐만.
꽂혔다면 쏟아부어 인생 직진 음료. 하나씩.
스승이요? 그냥 재영이가 6,800일 때부터 6,200까지 제가 올려줬거든요.
롤모델은 조성주고 그냥 변현우고 스승은 또 너야. 그럼 어떻게 된 거냐고.
네? 아닐 것 같은데? 그렇게 말했다고요? 제가 가르쳐줬다고 사실 저를 막 롤모델로 삼을 필요는 없으니까.
네, 뿌리면 뒤로 잡아주면서 이긴 했는데 이거 밀 수 있는 지제.
네, 사실 좀 걱정을 했거든요. 제가 가르쳤는데 성적도 저 잘 못 낼까봐. 근데 아까는 그냥 괜찮다 했는데 제가 8강에서 한 번도 못 이겨봤거든요. 꼭 한 번이라도 이기고 싶어요. 한 경기라도.
어이. 보세요, 신영이 형이 약간 조준영 씨에게서부터 저를 약간 무시하는 것 같더라고요. 마음 같아서는 1등으로 가고 싶은데 더 어렵지 않을까. 신영이 형은 원래 연습을 안 할수록 잘해요. 저 형은 막 하루에 40-50게임 할 때 진짜 이런 얘기가 되는지 모르겠는데 저 더럽게 못했고 한두 게임 할 때 진짜 괴물같이 잘했거든요. 그래서 약간 무섭긴 합니다.
조지명식에서 일주일에 10번 간다는 소문이 있었어요.
손목이 좀 안 좋아서 쉬고 있습니다. 내려놓고 있어야지.
부정하진 않네.
힘든 타이밍이에요. 그래, 아이고 마당도 들렸어요. 아이고 지제.
투팩했어? 신영이?
온덴시 3세라고 하거든요.
맨날 방송에 얘 불러가지고 얘 귀찮게 하고. 이제 성주 귀찮게 하지 마.
말러면식. 이거 출연료 나오죠?
안 나와.
에이.
여기 나오려고 온 거지.
출연료.
레이나한테 패스 줬잖아. 그쵸 아닌데.
코스를 보여줘야지.
코스 없어요. 이게 한계예요.
근데 어제 성주 보니까 이길 수 있을 것 같은데. 코스가 없던데요? 생각보다 일반 테란 같았어. 근데 이거 이 영상이 만약에 나오면
지면은 안 내보낼게.
아 그래요?
오시나 분위기.
네가 못하지는 않았지.
제가 못한 게 없잖아요.
저렇게 했어요?
코스가 말이 안 된다니까요 지금.
운동이 좋아서 얼마나 잘할지.
연습을 하기가 싫어요. 그냥 레드에 죄다 토스거든요.
레더를 할까요? 다른 종족들이 연습을 안 하는 거예요. 그냥 토스한테 지는 게 싫은 것 같아. 토스가 제일 구린 것 같아. 왜 웃으시죠?
저그, 테란, 징징댄다 믿고 걸으세요. 이런 사람들은 언젠가 뒤통수 칠 사람들입니다. 결과를 보십시오. 누가 우승을 많이 했는지.
팩트 자료 들고 오면 바로 왜 뒤집은지 가만히 있어요. 그게 그런 역겨운 종족들의 대를 징징들. 실력인 척 하면서 진짜 헛구역질 나게 마지막 팩트 들고 오면 안 나게 못해요.
머리를 언제 자르실 거?
머리요? 한마디 명언 하나만 하겠습니다. 전 머리 자를 시간도 아까서 연습만 했어. 여기까지. 그래서 다른 선수들 떨어진 거야. 머리를 잘랐기 때문에 다른 선수들 올라가는데 오케이.
조지명 씨 결과 어때요? 만족스러운데 토스 선수들이 오늘 어떻게 준비를 해야 할지 몰라가지고 너무 불안해요 지금 사실. 뭘 당할지 몰라가지고.
원희사 선수 저 방금 그 일벌레가 보고 간 그 아래쪽부터 올라가는 그런 게 광적 퀄리티도 좋고. 와, 이게 이거 잠깐만요. 이거 이미 알고 있네요.
입대 전에 그냥 가볍게 인사한다.
많은 일들이 있었는데요. 그래도 나름 잘 한 것 같아가지고 좋은 성적도 내고 후회는 없고 좀 오래 게이머 생활 하긴 했는데 그동안 사랑해 주셔서 감사하고 제2의 인생을 살러 떠나겠습니다. 그동안 감사했습니다.
Semi-finals. Dark. Parting. 2021 GSL Season 2. Code S. Africa TV. Freak Up Studio. Live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
What's up, everybody? We're back, and we're ready to go to Game 3. It's 2-0 so far. I don't think it's going to be a 4-0. Hope not. But the games are close.
Oh, yeah, that was a
is
very good second game that we had.
Yeah.
There. The first game was, there was a lot of stuff going wrong for Parting there. But the second game, like, that was not undoable.
No. And I mean, I think Parting showed that he really can play an extremely complicated end game. The difference between today and GSL round of 4 day 1 is that Bunny, everything backfired. Like he was getting hit by all the Home Alone traps.
Yeah, that's for sure. Guys, don't forget, actually, because we don't have any audiences, we want you guys to send us online cheer signs and
No
cheer
audiences
messages.
again. Sorry about that. COVID is pretty bad here, and there's not enough people vaccinated. I'm still waiting to get vaccinated. So make it cheerful. A cheerful is basically one of these signs. Put some cool artwork. Put something funny. Put a nice message.
Yeah, just put anything
a funny
you
message.
want.
Put whatever you're feeling. Well, I mean, try to make it StarCraft related, you know?
Yeah,
like,
well,
oh,
we
look
probably
at this,
won't show it otherwise.
Look at this drawing of a duck I made. It's like, I don't think we're going to show that.
Listen, ducks are integral to the StarCraft scene, all right?
It's true. Now, send that to us at that email, whatever that email was. I don't know. And if it's good, it will be displayed on our screen back here. And hopefully by Season 3, we'll have an audience again. It was pretty exciting for the week that we actually had an audience.
It was super sick.
It felt kind of weird at first.
Until GSL re-jump started coronavirus.
That's right.
in South Korea. And then we had to close it again
Yeah.
right away. Oh, that's unfortunate.
But it was fun for the week that we actually were allowed to have 30 people in the studio.
It was sick, actually. We had some
right
corners
when the
that came
game
down
started
and
and we started casting, we kind of looked at each other and we're like, it's good to be back. All right, we're going to go into game 3. PartinG, he has to pull it together now.
Here's the real danger, Tasteless. He might have had something like a cannon rush plan for this game, and if you're 1-1 going into game 3 and it's a cannon rush, that's fine. If you're 0-2 going into game 3 and it's some sort of super cheese build, if it gets held, that's basically it. You're basically done. So
we almost never have somebody come back 4-0 after being down 0-3.
Yeah.
You're right. Cannon rush feels a lot safer when there's plenty more games ahead. When things are starting to look pretty dire, I don't know if we're going to see it. Dark, he's looking comfortable. He's looking confident. He knows he's halfway there. He just has to close it out. Let's go to game 3 on Lightshade.
not a big surprise, immediate 12 pool from Dark.
We said something like this was going to happen in one of these games. Dark always does 1-2 cheeses in a game that is, a series that's going to be a best of 7 or a best of 5.
Now, he might be expecting a cheese with this. PartinG has sent a probe very, very quickly, like pre-pylon. And I think it just wiggled past the Overlord Scout, but the thing is he'll be able to figure out very quickly that this is a 12 pool, so he's going to be able to actually block it extremely easily.
And that might put Dark in a pretty bad position.
Yeah, the drone coming out and going by, he might think it's a hatchery, so I think he's going to check that right now. He sees no hatchery, and now he should probably poke his head into the main base.
Yeah, he's going to have to react extremely fast.
Yeah,
so he's going to come in here. He sees the 3 eggs. Of course, those are going to be 6lings.
Yeah, and the thing is, he will be fine here.
Yeah.
Every Protoss can hold the 12 pool if they know it's coming. It's not the end of the world by any means. He's actually added a second gateway, so this we'll see. Oh, it's going to be a hatch as well. Okay, this is very exciting.
So you can pull a number of probes if you math this out perfectly, and try to basically kill the hatch as it's going to finish. And usually the number, I think the number is 4 here.
Yeah, I think it's normally 4 that we see.
I think it's 5 if there's anything else that could try to interfere with it, but 4 should be the number. But again, if the lings get in and hit the probe attacking it, well then that spells disaster for Protoss, because then the hatchery finishes. So we really need to focus on the lings here if we're going to have an idea of how this game is going to end. Now the Zealot wants to try to hit the lings, but not get surrounded. And so we see this sort of odd dance of the Zealot coming out and then diving back in. And that's why some of the lings are committed on top of the gateway, others are not. Others are there to try to juke and jive and try to engage with this Zealot. The shields are gone on the gateway. The second Zealot's almost out, and Adept is halfway done.
Yeah, he can commit with one Zealot out a little bit further now if he wants. Oh, look at this. He switches the location of that proxy hatchery. I think you might need to finish this wall up a little bit.
This Adept is not going to finish. And
yeah,
so,
that's too bad. The Adept is actually so useful.
Well, you need something with range to fire over.
Yeah.
And there's no battery. This Zealot's extremely low on HP.
I think he's all right, though. The Adept's going to pop out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
he
basically lives. The hatchery can't really do anything. The lings, really, when the Adept comes out, that is basically the end of the rush.
Yeah, and look at this now, right? It's 13 workers to 23. So, I mean, Dark pulled off the rush, but honestly, I think PartinG is completely fine here. He's going to have reasonably quick tech. He's not going to die. There's all these lings on the map that aren't really going to do all that much right now. Of course, there's not a lot of intel right now for PartinG.
Okay, the drone is still alive, although I doubt we're going to have a third hatchery made.
That would be wild.
The Adepts come out, and they are surrounded immediately.
Oh, yeah, that's painful. That's really painful. Like, a lot of the times when you get 12 pooled, what ends up happening because they don't get gas is you'll counter pressure with the Adepts, because you can kind of just out-micro small amounts of slow lings very, very easily and shade around and get a few drone kills, keep pressure on in that way. But yeah, that's not going to work out for him here.
Look at that, the robo in the front.
Right in the front.
might as well make the pathway into the main a little bit more complicated.
Totally.
You don't normally think of a robo out there because it's such an important tech building.
Yeah.
You want that somewhere safe, but I guess this kind of makes sense given the circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
No, I think it's actually good. It's just it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the first time we've
there's
ever
still
really
a
got to
drone
cast
in his
that.
main, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you may as well. Okay, Glaives. Now, normally I don't like Glaive Adept builds, but I think a weird-looking game like this,
No,
this
think
might
this is
actually
good.
be fantastic.
I think this is the way to do it, is you punch back really hard, really fast, because you're going to catch Zerg in the middle of trying to transition into any kind of a macro game.
Now, he is making the Roach Warren, which is super important. Don't forget, he doesn't have speed. A big part of playing against Adepts is having your speedlings follow the shades back, right? Because you want to kind of have that full surface area if they finish the shade. Here, it'll be a little bit more difficult without that speed upgrade. He has some lings. He's droned up reasonably. He's going to have like 38 drones here, 40 drones here in a minute. Prism on the way.
And this is, well, we just got to wait and see how the Adept attack is going to do. We're going to have that War Prism come out, and that's really when you can actually try to close in on the Zerg. But I guess he's probably just going to hit the third, maybe try to come around from an angle and go into the natural, but I feel like there's too much creep and not any real high-value targets there.
Let's see what he does, what the follow-up is. Like, obviously he's going to make another round of Adepts here, but what comes after that? Is he going to add gases? Is he going to go third Nexus? Are we going to go into DT tech? There's a lot of different options here for PartinG.
Yeah, there's no extra Immortal coming here. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
It does seem like Zerg is probably okay, right?
Yeah, he's okay for now. But, this is how, like, every Adept attack starts, right? It's like, slowly but surely, you're kind of pushing forward. And then the thing is, Zerg doesn't know, like, are you still going to make a ton of Adepts? Are you adding gateways? There's all sorts of follow-ups. Actually finishes the shade here. So you can see the lack of speedlings to kind of be on top of them and block them is hurting him a little bit, right? Like, he's lost, like, one drone here. He's lost all of his lings. Finishes that shade again into the natural.
Damn, nice targeting on the drones. But again, when you target on the drones, that also shows that you're not going to try to commit to fight this in any way.
Yeah, you're never going to kill the roaches then.
Yeah.
Okay,
and so getting 8 drones is actually pretty good, and he's not done. He's going to finish this over here. And obviously you can easily one-shot drones with 4 Adepts, so he does. He's got 11 kills now. That puts the worker count basically even on both sides.
Dark Shrine is actually what's on the way right now, which I find kind of interesting with this third base, right? Like, he's going to have as weak an army as you could ever have against roaches. Like, DTs and Adepts, neither of those actually beat roaches, but they can kind of move around funny, right? Like, maybe you drop off a DT into the main base, maybe he doesn't bring an Overseer, and suddenly you make him turn around and wait all that extra time. Let's see how PartinG ends up playing it here. Blink on the way. Okay. Again, though, it's like kind of a very soft composition that PartinG is going for. Very nice move, picking off a couple drones.
Nice. All right, so he moves those over there. Plays for days, my friend.
Nice, said Tasteless, pretending that he could actually shade further than that.
No, it's just funny. They're like shade there. They're like, whoa! And then they go to the side and leave.
One step to the side.
Yeah.
It's like a superhero trying to show off his power to his dad or something, who's like actually Superman, but it's like the weakest superpower ever.
He comes in again. We're going to be more targeting on the drones here. They are still even at 60 workers, but behind this, Blink is coming. We've got more DTs that can be either used to attack or turn into Archons. The Spire for Zerg, as well as the rest of the upgrades.
I am kind of like, I think Dark has defended it kind of well enough. Let's see what these DTs can do. Oh my God. Okay, okay, you actually saw him coming. Oh man. Overseer has started, but this is some serious damage.
This is pretty sick, to be honest, and gets away from that Spore. He can come in here. Now, obviously, you can see it, but there's nothing here to defend. All these DTs have to do is touch a drone, and it's going to go down.
He sees the Spire. That's super important.
Yeah, inadvertently catches that tech, which is actually huge.
how does he want to counter this? Is he just going to go like cannon blink for now? Maybe just start morphing in some Archons? Like, I still feel like Dark has a lot of flexibility this game.
The thing is, I think that Parting, if the Mutas start to become a threat, I think you just go in with your army and attack. The Mutas can't kill you as fast as this ground and pound army can.
Yeah, there's only 2 Mutas that were made, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were there not more made?
Yeah, you
that's a good
made a couple.
Yeah, there they are. That's you and me.
Pretty ineffective, huh?
There's nothing more ineffective than us.
Get anything.
Look at these 2 Mutas trying to cast this Warp Prism over here.
Yeah.
One's trying to do play-by-play, the other one's trying to analyze it. It just recalls.
Yeah. These Mutas don't even play the game.
They don't even play the game. They don't even like the game, actually.
They don't even have the game installed,
Yeah.
these 2 Mutas.
The DTs are still hitting up here at the top. Looks like these Lings are going to catch this. There we go. This is too funny.
They are so funny.
Yeah. Well,
Turn around. Run, Tasteless!
It's a threat saying something mean about us. Let's get out of here.
Dude, that's the greatest Muta do of all time. They just got a probe at the 4th. That probe wanted to make 2 shield batteries. They can only make 1. This is really impactful, these 2 Mutas.
Now, we have the Stalkers coming up here. And he's got to be careful. He's on creep. These Lings can actually surround. He does blink away. But there's just nothing else that he can do here. He's going to have to recall if he wants to save these. Another blink. Okay, never mind. He's going to get away. Nicely done.
Colossus coming out right now. Hive on the way for Dark. Yeah, it's really impressive watching the way that PartinG played this, because he like sacrificed so many adapts. He went into such soft tech and just kept the harassment up for so long that at this point he's actually fielded such a strong army. You're not really going to want to attack into this right now.
Yeah.
But Lurker's going to be on the way as well as that Hive.
Let's keep in mind, I mean, this is not a game where we have a bunch of carriers. We probably won't have carriers. If we do it, will be much later than now. But this is the kind of army we're used to seeing PartinG really control nicely. Lots of Stalkers. He's got Colossi out here. He's looking for a push.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there's not going to be an easy new base here for Dark. Everything else is pretty far away. It's pretty attackable.
Yeah, that's true. You need that creep spread as well. But as he gets up into the Hive Tech and has some Vipers out, like, I mean, Colossi do die to a lot of things, but Vipers are very high on that list. You yoink a Colossus in, man, it is not getting out of there.
So right now, Dark wants to fight. He's got a lot of Ravagers here. I don't know that he's going to have an easy target, though. Damn, you see how quickly those Lings melt when you get 2 Colossi
Those Lings
together?
were wrecked, man.
Yeah. They instant died. They died so fast they felt no pain. Just put it like that. They didn't.
They felt no pain.
They felt no pain. It was like getting shot through the heart.
It's so funny.
So now I'm thinking about getting shot through the heart. I'm like, no, that would be painful.
Yeah, it sounds painful to me.
Oh, I don't want to get shot.
You're like,
in the heart.
oh, it's like drowning. You feel no pain.
It's
like, isn't that supposed to be the most painful?
It's like being eaten by a shark. It's fine.
That is the most painless way of getting eaten by a shark.
Not my best analogy. Sorry. Moving on.
All right, a bunch of Lurkers out now, so that is like. There's a dance you can do with Colossi to hit Lurkers to dodge the spines, but that's not what we're going to see here. It's like too time intensive.
You see him miss the Observer. He's still trying to get it.
Oh, is
right,
he?
Yeah.
I love little mini games like that.
All right, he's pushing in now. Nice harpooning. Takes out 2 Colossi so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
They felt pain, but it was not for that long.
Yeah, it was certainly
not
not
for
for
that long. Ow, 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 and then he died.
I wonder if the harpoon itself hurts. It doesn't do damage, but like
doesn't
maybe
hurt.
The damage is psychological.
It doesn't hurt, but it's scary.
It's definitely
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
Is it scary for a flying unit? A flying unit that's already going in the direction?
Yeah, absolutely.
It just speeds up a little bit. The Viking's like, oh my god, I'm actually finally fast.
Yeah, and then it's like, I'm going to die.
Nidus on the way. 3 Stargate on the way as well. Air weapons, so we're going to be getting into carriers. Disruptors being added in. Yeah, this army, like, I mean, it's still usable what PartinG has. But it's like more of a mid-game army, right? Like he can't actually attack lurkers with this army. The only thing that's worse against lurkers than sentries is stalkers. And the only thing worse than stalkers is sentries, right? Like these two units are not meant to attack burrowed lurkers. Like you put, what do you do? Put a force field over it? It's like, hey, this is where it is. It's going to kill
Imagine
you. By
how
the way.
many sentries it takes to even kill a couple burrowed lurkers. Like,
oh my god, yeah. That's a fun YouTube video.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
100 sentries against 4 lurkers.
Yeah.
It's a game of chance.
It's just sentries exploding and for some reason force fields being cast on top of the lurkers.
Yeah, those bad sentry
yeah,
force
those bad
fields.
sentry force fields that
I'm about to die.
Yeah,
Throw
I
out
need
the
to get
spell.
value somehow.
Yeah.
Well, you won't get it that way, my
It
friend.
doesn't feel right to die with mana.
Yeah. Oh, nice force fields there. Traps at some of those Ravagers. Where's this observer? Oh my god, it's so far out. Why?
It's a bit away.
Oh no, that's going to be haunting for Parting.
Yeah, that is a little bit painful.
I think he could have actually come in there and done a little bit more damage. Meanwhile, Dark is beginning to just mow this down with these lurkers.
Yeah, this is really painful right now. Throws out a couple disruptor balls. Okay, good hit there. Gets 3 lurkers. Oh, it's so painful though. He already lost a Nexus. Now this one's getting very, very low. Waiting for more disruptor hits. Oh man. Nidus coming up as well. Right behind. Okay, he's going to try to save this. It looks like that Nexus is going to fall as well, unfortunately. Oh, where is that Observer again?
Yeah, this is actually a story of just Observers not being where they need to be. I don't know that
Protoss
Party
really needs scans, Stasis.
They need a scan. Yeah, no Oracle here either to try to tag it. The army is still getting more and more sophisticated for Parting, but I'm just worried that he hasn't done that much damage. Now, that being said, again, we don't have a new base here for Dark. Parting can recover and then try to play the game from there, but oh, this Nidus is going to be sick. And you know, Parting just playing a better positional game. These bases are not even being defended.
Yeah, this is really tough. He has got to get up there right away. Yeah, trying to heal as best he can with that overcharge. There's not a lot of anti-air here. Like, look, you just yoinked that into, what,
like
3 Hydras?
Yeah, get back over here.
I think the carrier can almost just solo those Hydras. It's pretty
he
close.
takes out the Nexus. He can just leave if he wants to.
Yeah, it might be the best play. Does another yoink here. Looks like he will end up losing a carrier.
Oh, think again. Never mind.
Yeah, ends up getting both of them there.
I think
Parting, I think he's dead now, unfortunately. This is...
Okay, I think he's going to have this pretty feeble attack in here, and unless a maxed out Zerg can somehow not beat a...
Well, he's got the Observers this time.
Yeah, he's got 4 of them. That was a bad game from Parting, honestly. It was a rough one.
Well,
the tilt is real, by the way. I can feel it.
Yeah, the 12 pool threw him off whatever build he wanted to do, so I think that was a really great call from Dark in Game 3, being ahead 2-0. The Adept counterplay, it did all right, and he got into the DTs, he got into Blink, but then he was kind of stuck on this mid-game army for a bit. Never really got the damage done that he needed, and obviously, you know, the Lurker Viper just really countering Blink, Sentry Colossus type of plays. Oxide, map 4, Parting really up against the ropes, but is this as up against the ropes as he was against Zaun in Game 5?
I need Parting to win a game here. We need to see him come back, or Dark is going to come out with the same results the Trap had, giving us one hell of a final. Parting, he needs to play a little bit cleaner, especially in Game 3. Game 1 and 2, I think he actually played pretty crisp. Did have one small decision that did really cost him the game. Sometimes StarCraft games are like that. Game 2 was actually a great game, but Game 3, he did not have his army in unison. They were not, you know, all moving together. And I think Dark is just looking unstoppable, frankly. If Parting wins this series, guys, he will do the reverse sweep. We almost never have that in StarCraft 2. Down 0-3, coming back 4-0. If it's going to start here now on map 4 Oxide.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Dark. PartinG.
I worry, again, that Game 3 is sort of a bad sign of like what might come here. He did look a little bit rough around the edges. Dark was very on top of his game. He did a great usage of Nidus worms. You know, the thing is, like, Stalker Colossi is sort of mobile, but not when you have Niduses popping up in corners and hitting bases.
He was killing the Nexuses too quickly. And the thing is, there was a minor base trade going on, and you're right, there was like the Observer wasn't there with his army.
Yeah.
A couple lurkers kind of headed him off, and then a flanking force came up. And it became a tough situation because he lost two Nexuses while doing that. And then when he's like down trying to clear up the Niduses, another one pops up, he loses a third Nexus. And from there, it's like, I mean, sometimes you can lose one Nexus and be okay, but 3? No. No, you're not going to be okay after that.
Now, oh man, I just hope we don't have a 4-0. Last cast was kind of weird because we ended so early. Like, our commute into the studio was longer than the actual cast itself. Today, the games have at least been longer. But,
yeah,
I don't
so
know.
far. Still might end up being a quick day. I really hope that PartinG brings this back. And
Me too.
Honestly, this is the first time I've ever hoped for a Protoss versus Protoss finals.
Oh, I think this would be a really good PvP finals.
Yeah. The mind games there would be insane. Like, PartinG versus Trap, they've already played in this tournament. It was awesome. Like, you could tell PartinG wasn't quite the level macro-wise as Trap, but it didn't matter. He was able to do it.
He still knew how to win, which is what's most important.
I think they'd make a great best of 7, but of course, Dark versus Trap as well. Just crazy, crazy finals. And honestly, it's been too long since we've had a Zerg champion, you know what I mean?
It's been a while. It's been a while, Artosis. It's just that Zerg don't ever win anything. That's what bothers me.
It's
a bummer, right?
It's a bummer.
It's like, can a Zerg ever win? You know,
it feels like the answer is no.
Those Protoss OP memes are just so true, aren't they?
Yeah. Emotions are facts. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, I like that. Emotions are facts.
Yeah.
It's no longer facts can't hurt your feelings. It's facts are feelings.
Yeah.
So we've got the Void Ray coming. This game.
Actually, honestly, I would like to. I wanted to mention this after game 2, but we were talking about whatever we were talking about. Probably nothing of import, but I want to see him go air toss again because that game 2 was actually very, very close, and I feel like if he goes air toss against Dark again, he'll actually be ready for the more Ultralisk heavy, weird Queen, Neural type of game. And I don't think he's practiced a whole lot against that. No one really plays quite like Dark, and if that's the way he's going to approach Sky Toss, I actually think that PartinG can knock that out, honestly. Like, I think with a rematch, he wins that. Because I don't think that what Dark was doing there was optimal. It was really cool, and it won, and that's what matters here in a tournament. But I think long-term, over the course of many Sky Toss games, I think PartinG will figure that right out and get the edge.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, so I would like to see it, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. We have a Robo on the way.
We'll probably have a fairly quiet game here until about 10 minutes, to be honest, if this game's going to look at all like previous Starport games. But maybe not, actually. I'm sorry, he's not making more Void Rays.
No, just that Robo.
Yeah.
A decent Scout. Failing Nest and Evolution Chamber. Okay. Now, it used to be that, like, Stargate openers, you'd want to get, like, a quick plus melee attack and be a little bit more Ling heavy against them. And, okay, he adds another Stargate, like Robo into second Stargate. What is that Robo doing? What is that Robo for?
Observers.
Well, he was so pissed at
Observers from the last game. Yeah.
He's just going to have them everywhere.
This is happening again this time.
He's going to take all 6 gases, then he's going to go make 2 gases long-distance mines so he can support observers and
he's going to have the new double Robo Observer meta.
Oh. What is this? Is he going to
go
like
for
Void
Disruptor.
Colossus or Void Disruptor?
No. Void Colossus would make more sense.
Well, I mean, Void Disruptor is like, they kind of actually do combo all right together. I don't, like, I mean, the Queen heavy stuff you'll definitely shred. Maybe he saw the Baneling Nest when he was in there with the Void, and then he wants to go Colossus against that, right? Like I guess Banes aren't actually that bad against Colossus. Like when they have speed, they can kind of roll in and hit the whole stack because Colossus stand on top of units. Okay, it is Disruptor. It is Disruptor. But Disruptors are harder to use against Lings, that's for sure. They're so fast, Tasteless. You just get...
Oh, nice surround here with the Lings. The Bane's connecting. He just decimates that. 2 get away.
Yeah, 6 end up going down here.
Yeah, got to be careful setting those out like that. I mean, Adepts, it's okay to lose them, but you need to trade them out, you know, especially for workers and other stuff. You get a Queen, something like that, but to just lose it like that outright, that does really slow down the momentum here for PartinG.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Void Ray Disruptor right now.
Yeah.
This is truly fascinating. I guess, yeah, and he's got, okay, so I think
maybe the idea is that Queens have a much harder time avoiding Disruptor shots. They're just,
the way
there are a
Dark
couple
was
units
playing,
like Queens and Ravagers basically cannot get away from Disruptors. They have bad dreams about Disruptors chasing them in their sleep.
Yeah.
And I think the idea is that you have enough Disruptors, you just chunk out a couple of the Queens, and then you snowball the fight.
Yeah, and don't forget that Neural was a big part. He was using Archons actually to counter the Void Rays by Neural parasiting them. And actually, pretty much the quickest way to undo a Neural is to throw a Disruptor ball at it, right? You just blow it up and get your unit back. So it could have to do with that as well. It seems like he's, yeah, I think that's accurate. He's basically looked at the air toss game and said, okay, this is going to be a hard counter to that. But it's actually, Dark is playing it a little bit differently. He's focused a little bit more heavily on Ling Bane. But we'll see if he rushes up the tech tree or he has the Infestation Pit on the way. Is he going to go into Ultra? Is he going to play a completely different composition? Could be anything, man. I mean, these guys both have, like, infinite range.
These guys are quite the gamers.
They really are.
These guys can game like nobody else. Now, like we said, it's going to be slow for a little bit. The way that PartinG's playing, he doesn't want to bring out the final product until it's ready, and carriers take a little while to make. Can this stasis last longer? This Void Ray's like, my God, man.
A couple of depths that did live before. Very nice. But yeah, now 4 bases against soon-to-be 5 bases here from Dark. Just started that 5th. He has Hive on the way. Temple Archives coming up here for PartinG. I wonder how many Disruptors he has right now. This is really interesting. I'm very excited to see how this is going to look different from Game 2. Right now, my gut is telling me that PartinG's ahead. Like, I think he's making a better composition.
Proper adjustments to get to.
You saw how big those Queen piles were.
Yeah, they were huge.
Yeah, you send in 4 disruption balls. It's like, dude,
you would wipe out all the Queens.
Yeah,
and then from there, the Interceptors won't get killed off. Like, imagine in the first fight if the Interceptors never died.
Oh,
he would have just pushed through and won. Yeah. So I think actually PartinG has really adapted, like, on the fly, in between games in this semifinals. This is really cool to see. But again, you have to actually get the execution off.
Yeah, very
I don't think Disruptors are the hardest units to use, but if the shots don't connect, then, you know.
What if Lings and Banes are running at him, right?
Yeah.
That's, and also, don't forget, you neural one of those. Ooh, those disruption balls coming back at you.
Preach it, Artosis.
Yeah, man. It's your boy!
It's your boy!
Disruptor!
All right. Single-player game still so far.
It's a great single-player game, though.
City builder game so far. We're waiting for the action to start.
SimCity Space Edition.
Yeah. SimCity Aliens versus Predator Edition.
Little Ling harassment. Ultra's Cavern just finished up. Adrenal on the way. A lot of spores coming down. A lot of Ling Bane.
Okay.
That's
This is
always a
not
dangerous
good spot
charge. When you charge onto that, it's like they just happen to all pop out right before they die. It's oops.
All right, here comes that push now. Now we've got, I think it's 3 disruptors. No, 4 disruptors down here. The Banes are going for the disruptors. You see, he knows what he's looking for. Oh my God. These disruptors are pretty low. They've already lost all their shields.
He hasn't actually shot them yet.
Yeah.
He is waiting, Tasteless. He wants those queens.
Artosis, he's just going to kill the disruptors.
Oh my God.
My God. He made it look easy. Oh my God.
The fungals.
Oh,
PartinG's not dead, though. He's not dead.
Well, no, he's not dead, but, I mean, the build-up, clearly Dark wins that engagement.
Dude, yeah, he wanted the disruptor hits on the queens, like, so badly.
Probably should have put a Warp Prism with that grip, carried him around like that.
All right, some pain there for PartinG. Gonna back up. He kept his carriers alive. That's the most important part of the army. He can disruptors are not that expensive. You can remake those. This is not the end of the world, PartinG fans. He still has a shot. No, he's dead. Thank you, Pro Gamer. Yes. 5th base. I mean, he's got the 5th base.
He has a pretty powerful economy behind him. I think we still got a lot more game here. It's just too bad because, like, what we were talking about happening, it just got shut down. It does seem like Protoss, if they go for a lot of carriers, they have a very difficult time with the balancing act of what's on the ground. You know?
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, right? Because there's no perfect comp.
Right.
Well, I guess there technically is. Like, remember the Fist and Forearm of Neeb?
Yes, of course.
From
the Fist of Neeb and then the Fist of
the
the Forearm.
199 supply army. That is a perfect composition. That counters everything. But it's rare that you can get into a game like that.
I like the burrow. It's smart.
It is. It's super cool. The Ling Bane rolling in here. I like the little Ling Bane attacks. They're not always doing something, but they will sometimes. Oh, look at that. The burrowed Lings just become Banelings. So smart.
It's dirty, man. I love it. These Lings that come in here and try to defend, and then these Banes are going to hatch!
Oh, and then, like, a Baneling finishes, so the probes all die.
Oh, he had 3 coming in from above, too.
Yeah, he actually
he didn't pull it off, but I actually liked the setup. That was pretty sick.
That was a big brain
That
play
was
right
like
there.
that's like a really good play right there.
I like that a
lot. Like on the fly does that.
All right, 4 Ultras on the way, double Spire as well.
Ardo Bardo, we're running out of bases. There's only 2 bases on the map that have not been taken.
You're right, the corners.
These players are like 2 brothers sharing a room, and they put the line of tape down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, this is my side of the room.
Mom, his creep is on my side of the room.
Creeping on my side of the room. And Zerg's probably gonna take top left. Whoop, beat me to it before I could even finish that sentence. And Protoss will probably take bottom right. Now, if the game goes on long enough that all the resources are used up, technically Protoss, if the exchanges were perfectly even, I mean, they won't be, but just for the sake of making the point, Protoss will actually mine out after the Zerg does. Generally. So we want to keep that in mind. This means that Dark kind of has to force the end of the game. And speak of the devil.
Dude, okay, so he's on 11 carriers, 4 voids, and 5 disruptors. That's his army.
He's just going to attack. Dark is just going to attack him with nothing but Warcraft 3 heroes here. This is pretty cool. He's got 10 Mountain Kings and I think 20 Archmages.
Those are Kodo Beasts, my friend.
Oh, those are Kodo Beasts. Okay. Well, that's practically a hero.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch these Zealots die.
Well, he needed to clear that force supply.
I think these Zealots are going to die before this camera shot's done. Yeah, he actually didn't clean up the supply.
Yeah, so the Ultras actually are only going to be able to hit the Disruptors. So if the Disruptors get decent shots off on Queens and Infestors, the battle should go heavily to PartinG. I think it has mostly to do with that. Whereas if he hits Disruptor shots on the Ultras literally don't matter because they will beat the Disruptors. So, yeah, it's just like if the Disruptors get value against anti-air, so that his air does even better.
Here we go. He's going to Independence Day that hatchery.
Dude, that hatchery is so dead.
How many Warcraft 3 heroes does it take to beat?
Oh, look at that. The zoning on both sides here.
Yeah.
The Ultras go to the edge and look off. They're like, wow, look at that view.
Yeah.
Watch out, there's carriers there. Don't worry, we have a lot of carapace.
Look at their little butts go, little Ultralist butts. They're so cute. I never noticed this until we started casting.
I didn't know you were an Ultralisk butt guy. I'm an Ultralisk armor guy myself.
No, I'm more of a butt guy.
Yeah.
All right.
This is such a funny dance. It's stressful, too. I'm kind of like, is this going to end? Am I going to have to go home early? Is PartinG not going to get wins?
No, at this point in time, I'm on Team PartinG here. I want him to win. Uh-oh, bottom right. Oh, one broed Ultra. We missed his corgi butt going down there. The Ultra bro is actually hilarious, though.
It's so funny that they can.
It's like suddenly the ground got really soft. He could just dive in there.
It's a very strong digger.
All right. This is bad for PartinG. 27 kills. Look at that.
Yeah,
Banes.
But he's got 5K in the bank. Honestly, if the map is going to mine out, is this bad for PartinG or is this bad for Dark?
Well, this is a good question because
eventually that is not a good move anymore.
Although Banelings are maybe the best thing in the game along with the Immortal, whenever they damage something, they die, so you don't keep them as long-term value, unlike these basically every other unit in the game.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
A lot of Archons here that he just kind of lured him into.
Oh my god.
Okay, the Disruptors want those hits so badly. Let's see what they can get done.
He needs to get through these Ultras first.
Yeah, look at those fungals. Parasitic bombs going down here as well. Okay, finally a Disruptor does end up shooting.
Oh,
good.
Okay.
Good
Does
hit.
quite a bit of damage. I can barely track this here.
Yeah.
This is such a weird fight.
Yeah, it was a weird fight. So he ended up losing all of his Archons. That was a better fight for Dark, I think, because he killed all the Archons and the Disruptors. And
thing is,
like, his spellcasting army is still intact. He still has Ultras. But neither of them have gotten those bases. They have kind of similar banks, kind of similar army sizes.
I wish we could do a mineral check right now. I want to see what bases are still mining, because I think right now Dark has realistically two bases mining. His third should have basically mined out. I think there's something like 3
fourth
patches.
looks pretty empty. If you really,
you're right. His fourth,
If you squint at the Apple Watch they gave you to cast this off of,
our screens are so small. Let me
looks-
lean into my game gear that I'm casting this off of right now and see if I can tell you what how many mineral patches there are.
Remember that day they teased us with a regular size monitor screen?
And then it was gone
took
the
it
next
away.
day. Yeah. Yeah, what happened with that? Some other league out here is using that monitor right now.
For sure.
Now, the situation is going to come down to money at the end of the day here, because there's no realistic way for either side to truly kill each other unless a fight is really mismanaged. Now, look at this. He's going to fork off these Ultralisks and just try to mow this down. I think he's going to run. Yeah. So this is becoming a bit of a chess game. He's forced the recall. Now the next position he attacks can't be defended as easily.
Yeah, so it'll be this one. PartinG could do something like Warp and DTs. Yeah, looks like that's what he'll do. By the way, he does have Blink and DT Blink and Plasma Shields on the way. I think that this is always a very good move when you have a bank like this in the late game. Because sometimes you can switch. Hold on, though. We have a fight going down. Here we go. Some Corruptors have been added in. Parasitic Bombs coming down.
Oh, these shots! Chunks out a big amount of those queens.
Yeah,
PartinG wins the fight. PartinG wins the fight big time.
Huge amount of damage. I think the Orange Cloud is actually working. Armor is that on an Ultra? It's like 9 armor or something. It's kind of crazy.
Something like that. But again, this one Ultra and Ling does the same job down here in the bottom right. But can he keep pushing? Look at Interceptors when they're fungled.
I know, it's so silly looking. Yeah, those are not going to stay alive for very long.
All right, he may Interceptor up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now, the hatchery that's at the top of the screenshot, it's not a high-value target.
Yeah,
He'll take it if he can take it, because there's still going to be gas that can be mined from there.
Yeah, even that'll go eventually. Like, I mean, just clearing the area in general is okay. Just to have him further away from the base that you know he
No,
needs to take.
clearing even spores is okay.
Yeah. But hold on, here come all the corruptors now. He is, oh my god!
I don't even know what's happening right now.
I mean, fungals, parasitic bombs, and a 32 corruptors. He's going to lose his carrier fleet. Now, here's the thing. Does he remax on air, or does he? I think he's going to go into Stalker's Tasteless.
I think that's what you got to do, Artie.
Yeah. All right, a bunch of Stalkers right there. He doesn't have that many gateways. And this, look at this, 7 Ultras, but he's going back into Voids. So, okay, the Stalkers kind of helped there, and I think they're still going to be somewhat useful, but they're pretty terrible against Ultras. And he's making Voids. How many Vipers do we have, and how many Infestors do we have? Because those are super strong counters against the Mass Void Ray, but Void Rays will destroy Corruptor Ultra in the right numbers.
Right.
It just kind of comes down to those spellcasters. Dark expanded the bottom right.
Dark at this moment, if he gets this base at the top left, he's probably going to win the game in the long run. If he can take it and keep it. But these Stalkers can be microed pretty well. Ultras off creep are actually much weaker to Stalkers. The Stalkers are just basically better units.
Yeah. The Stalkers deal a lot of damage. They can be very efficient in games like this.
Yeah.
Like, you just warp a group in, and your opponent isn't really ready for this type of blink micro.
It's a funny thing because you don't want Stalkers at a certain point in time in the game, but after the game's gone on for a long time and you're fighting Ultras,
they can be a good endgame unit.
Yeah.
Like, they're just so microable is the thing. Okay, the overcharge is big. There's cannons here as well. Those Void Rays putting out a ton of damage right now.
These Ultras are not going to be able to carve their way through here. This was an overextension by Dark. Can the counterpunch come in and actually take this base out here? Look at the targeting here with these Stalkers.
Dude, he did fantastically. Really clean that up. But the banks on both sides are super small right now. They actually have very similar supplies. Yeah, he's going to kill both the bases. Dark is barely
been killed like 4 times, right?
Yeah,
I think PartinG can win. Now, PartinG has one base that I think has all its mineral patches. I know it's going to be low, but it's like you can at least mine, you can at least get something out of that. So I almost think that PartinG doesn't need to expand as much as just keep stamping out these bases until Dark doesn't really have anything, and then PartinG is going to very, very carefully get that final base, and he should win.
But he's actually reading the situation wrong. He's making 2 Immortals, whereas Brood Lords are being made.
Lords of Brood.
The one brooding after this game might end up being PartinG.
Yeah, he might be the Brood Lord at the end of this if he loses that.
Yeah, that's the Immortals definitely not going to help out there. If there were more Ultras on the way, it's
there
amazing.
Are Void Rays out here.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of Corruptors either. I mean, the Void Rays can blast down Brood Lords pretty quickly.
That's for sure.
So again, every time you see a base killed off, and it's like we were talking about earlier where the Zerg just mines out faster. They take bases faster. That's the way the race is designed. So PartinG's trying to kind of play the inherent way his race works. Like,
oh, that blink!
You devil, you! I love that.
Yeah, that was so important.
All right, so he sees the Brood Lords. There are burrowed, I think they're lings, maybe drones, in the bottom right.
Ooh, he lost at least 1 Immortal there. Tempest on the way. 2 Tempests on the way. This is getting really interesting. Obviously, Tempests are going to be fantastic against Broodlords. PartinG with so little economy. You kind of see him shaking his head. But
well,
really, he shouldn't give up. His army is infinitely more microable.
The thing is, yeah, no, I think you're right. I think he can actually do it. He's going to force a cancel.
Here's the problem. I don't think PartinG thinks he can do it. Looking at the way that he's kind of shaking his head and everything, he has very little income. He's looking like he's getting negative here. But he's gaining more value with his units in general right now.
So this base is the only base that has minerals that he actually has. I mean, that base that we're looking at right now, this is going to mine out in a second here.
No gas for PartinG. Right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Or wait, no gas for Dark, I'm sorry. Dark has 0 gas income right now.
This is going to be an extremely important moment when he attacks up here. All the drones are basically here. The base at the center right that Dark has, that'll take care of itself. That'll dry up.
Does PartinG have an Oracle?
Also, PartinG has a choice to either give Dark that base in the top left and just secure his own base in the bottom right, or he can try to attack out over there. Now, Dark has given up mobility, by the way. Whenever you see Brood Lords you know that you're no longer going to be able to manipulate your position. So I think what Dark wants to do is actually push in here because this base can't be defended. So I didn't really think about this until it actually happened, but this is pretty smart.
Yeah, this is great to clean this up. There are still some minerals here as well. It's got to be careful, though. The Infestors can turn this game on its head immediately.
Yeah. Now, if he can actually...
Oh.
Okay, so he forces a cancel, but this is a lot of Lings killed here. We got to point that out. Dark is now mining with all of his drones. You can see it's actually a super saturated patch because there's just nothing else for these drones to do.
Oh. Okay, Observer coming over. This drone's not mining at the moment. So Dark has some gas income once again.
PartinG, when this finishes and he gets his gases up, he will also have a decent amount of gas to come in here. PartinG's not attacking in here, and
Yeah,
this could go either way, guys.
Yeah.
This is a really tough one to call. I think the one Stalker coming in here is not a bad idea at all. Just try to see what's going on.
Yeah, get some sort of scouting intel.
So
I would love to see one Oracle being made. I think tags right now would be incredibly valuable, especially with 5 Tempests out. Like, Oracle tags plus Tempest can always be nice.
Well, that way you at least know what the behavior of the other race is.
Ooh, 10 Infestors, 2 Vipers. It's so difficult to play against at this stage because both of those can be so cost efficient. Oh no.
He can save this.
Oh, those are
maybe
cracklings.
not. Yeah. Well, no, you can save this. I was right. I know this exactly. Good save there. Okay, so the DT, I mean,
this is
no
the
way.
most detected base there's ever been.
Yeah, this DT has been so detected, we can see its underwear.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like crazy. I can see the DT skeleton. There's so many spores there. We see exactly what...
I see his DNA right now.
I can see his credit card in his pocket. I can steal his identity. So, this was a tough call for PartinG. I think the game was pretty straightforward for Dark. He just had to get a base. But PartinG decided, and I think he's probably right, he couldn't have killed that base in the top left. So he's just committed onto this.
It's so hard to attack into this against all the spellcasters.
This is going to be an exceptionally crazy end to the game. I don't know how it's going to go, but honestly, both these guys have these insane armies. Now, PartinG's actually throwing probes away because he doesn't need them in the long run. He wants to free up supply. We may see that even from Dark here.
Oh, those Infestors! Oh, the Fungals. Okay, the Fungals are not the best, actually. Not the best.
Got him off creep for a second. Notice the creep being pushed down here.
Look at that Stalker and those 2 probes.
Thrill Seekers.
Yeah,
that's what I call them.
PartinG is nearing a max. Sending some probes out to die, it looks like. Make that max a little bit bigger. Look at Dark's supply. 37 workers, 162 army supply. That is pretty intense.
Now, this is a moment where Dark is just going to, if he sees an opportunity to kill something off, he'll do it. This is not a high-value target at all.
Yeah.
But he just knows, okay, if I can wipe that out, it's going to be a darker spot on the map.
Well, it's a place that it does have things like shield batteries there, so it is worthwhile to kill. It's just you don't want to spend too much doing it. Oh!
Gets 1 Tempest, 2 carriers, but they're pulling away.
Yeah, okay, so he does finish one off. Just barely doesn't kill the Vipers. That is so painful. If he kills Vipers, you're suddenly much more okay with everything. Not completely okay, of course, but the Vipers are one of the most scary units. And to save both of them, he's healed them up. He's just getting full energy again on them.
Yeah, he finally cleans up that position. The final resource locations on the map are getting soaked up. We're going to be going to a resourceless game soon.
Yeah. But the resourceless game, it's kind of funny because we don't really have splash damage for PartinG. Normally in games like this, we have a bunch of high tumblers left over.
That's true.
That's not the case here.
And again,
but then again, there's not corruptors, I guess, so... Oh, no.
He's going to lose his Nexus.
Yeah,
if he loses his Nexus, I think that... Oh, I don't know, man. This is bad for PartinG.
Yeah, things are getting worse.
He can remake it. I mean, he can, but now the Broodlords are down here. Oh, I think Dark might take this.
It is really looking that way right now. Okay, there's that Oracle. Still trying to make something work. Zergling's getting in everywhere right now. It's like sand from the beach. Can't get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, he is just getting uncomfortably close. And the reason why the creep spread's so important is you can put spores in with the rest of this. This helps fight the interceptors and everything else.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and now he's starting to rot out the infrastructure in the main. And this is where Parting is kind of
Parting
screwed.
Has no bank as well.
Yeah, so even having, like, let's say you had to remake the pylons and the robo and all this tech, like, that's the, you know, you only have one more base left, so your resources become so important. Like,
you can actually count how many resources you're going to have for the rest of the game if you even mine that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you make the pylons? Is it even worthwhile?
Every time a Nexus is killed or canceled, eventually you're going to have to say, all right, is it even worth it to have the Nexus here? Should I just long distance mine this? Is that better?
It might be the next call. Dark continues to push forward. He's pushing his creep spread all the way down. If only he had some way to deal with all these spellcasters. Like, there's just not even a high Templar in the game. It makes it so tough for him. The Lord's starting to push in. Very methodical from Dark. He's really finishing this game beautifully.
Oh, he gets another one. Instantly killed.
Oh my
The Stalkers
God.
are getting stuck. I think we're going to watch Parting slowly bleed out. This is going to be a painful loss, man.
He's trying to grind right now with the Tempest, which they can, in theory, grind something like this, but you mess up at all, fungals, neurals, yoinks.
Okay. I don't know, man. Now the Lings are going to come in here and kill off the probes. I think now Parting's going to try to shift the action here. He's going to move up, but he's going to have a fight right on creep.
Oh, the fungal.
Oh my God, the angling here is so good for the Zerg. The fungal's too strong. Everything getting wiped out. This game is over. Parting has lost 0-4, and Dark will go on to face off against Trap in the GSL finals. GG.
Wow. I think Parting put up some great fights here against Dark, but just nothing quite working out for him. Some very close games, especially with the air toss. But Dark, I mean, he is back in form right now. We haven't seen him looking this good. Well, I guess a couple times the TSL, you know, obviously his World Championship run, but he is looking in that kind of top form again. Going to another GSL finals.
Frustrating loss there for Parting, but Dark clearly the stronger player. I mean, he
was tonight, yeah.
They had a very good series, but it really says something that as well as Parting played in every game, Dark shut him down each step of the way. And we couldn't have been more wrong. It was not going to be many games.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be 6-7 games.
I thought so as well. That does it, guys. We're going to have an interview now with Dark and see how he's feeling going on to Season 2 of the GSL Finals.
Dark defeats Parting without dropping a single game, and he defeats Parting 4-0. Congratulations. Thank you.
네, 정말 축하드립니다.
Well, sincere congratulations, Dark.
이후 두 번째 GSL 결승인데요.
This is your second GSL finals. How do you feel?
정말 좀 많이 준비해왔고.
You know, I've actually prepared really well for today's match, and I think I got to show that today.
우주모함 깡통 만드는 그 마법 유닛 컨트롤 기가 막혔습니다.
And your magic units were so immaculate with their spell accuracy. It feels like Parting did prepare for the macro today. So I was kind of startled when I saw him playing the match, but I was able to keep my poise during the games. Well, you definitely probably noticed that when Parting picked GSL Nautilus, that today's match was not going to be easy. Well, the next match is also a PvP. Alright, just let me know after the final match, Dark. And today's match, we got to see your unique style of playing.
경기였는데
And offside, it was a fierce match.
스카이토스를 상대하는데 타락기를 과감하게 생략하거나
And
늦게
you
뽑았잖아요.
did not, you did exclude the corruptors when you're going up against Skytoss, PartinG.
와, 프로토스가 지상으로 체제를 바꿔도 유연하게 대처가 됐습니다.
And you were able to flexibly deal with the Protoss when you switched to the land units instead of the air units. So what was the background behind this?
그냥 공업포획기가 버프다이고 나서부터
after the Void Rays got
여러
buffed,
가지 해봤는데 타락기 무리군주로는 특히 무리군주가
they are
너무 약해져가지고
impossible to defeat with the corruptors and the Broadlords.
거의 뭐 공업 버프되자마자 연습을 했던 게 지금 이렇게
So, I did experiment with some strategies to deal with the Void Rays, and I did show it today in my match.
와, 오늘 경기 포함해서 이번 시즌
Including today's match.
강영호 선수의 결승 진출 굉장히 오랫동안
And now
기억에 남을
it
것
feels
같아요.
like Dark, you moving to the finals will be an inspiration for everyone.
이병렬, 이신영, 선정까지 잡았고
You did defeat your nemesis, Innovation and Rogue, and then you managed to move on to the finals now.
가장 기억에 남을 것 같은데요.
So what match is the most memorable to you? Well, every match is memorable, to be honest.
약한 선수가 한 명도 없었기
I had no players who were
어렵게 올라온 것 같고
not formidable. They were all very hard opponents. And I do want to win in the final match as well.
2019년 시즌 2 이후 2년 만의 결승입니다.
This is your final stage after 2 years since 2019.
당시 조성우 선수를 잡고 GSL 첫 우승을 거두셨는데
And at the time, you did defeat Trap to lift up the GSL trophy in the last finals.
기분은 좋지만 방심은 안 하려고 최대한.
I'm happy right now, but I'm not gonna let my guard down.
일단 빨리 경기를 하고 싶어서 지금 너무
I just want to get into the final match right away.
확실히 자신이 있으신 것 같아요.
It feels you are full of confidence right now, Dark.
없는 상황인데 조성우 선수에게 혹시 하고 싶은
And Trap has no GSL win, so anything you want to say to Trap?
징크스를 이겨내는 게 정말 어렵고.
Overcoming one's jinx is really hard.
일단 성호 형이 저보다 좀 많이 긴장하실 것 같고.
And I think Trap is gonna be quite nervous having to go up against me.
땅 차이라고 생각하기 때문에. 빨리 다음 주에 했으면 좋겠네요.
I just want to get into the final match right away next week.
자, 결승 올라오기까지 2년을 기다렸습니다.
And Dark, you waited 2 years to get to this moment, to the final stage. Anything you want to say?
정말 연습은 매번 열심히 했고 이렇게
I practice hard every time.
사실 엄청 오래전에 완성돼 있었는데 이렇게 뒤늦게 좀 보여드릴 수 있다라는 거에 좀 다행인 것 같고요.
I'm really happy to have shown the good performance today, and I'll try to win in the final match as well.
다시 한번 결승 진출 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations on your advancement. Thank you.
자, 이상 2년 만에 결승 진출에 성공한
That does it for today, guys. Congratulations to Dark. He really has a handle on that matchup, and I gotta wonder, how is Trap going to play against Dark, seeing the games we see now?
Dude, that is a very good question because that was a very off-brand anti-air toss strategy. Yeah. Maybe Trap looks at that and decides that he knows how to kill it. Maybe he avoids air toss altogether. Who knows?
Yeah, it was interesting to see that PartinG really went for the kind of exhaust play that we don't really ever see him go for. The kind where you're just trying to have the perfect unit comp as the trade happens, the momentum goes in your favor, you close it out. Or in that last game where he basically just tried to have all the minerals on the map deplete and then find a solution that way. So yeah, I don't know what Trap's going to bring here, but it's got to be better than what PartinG brought. PartinG's play did not get a single win on the board.
Well, look, Trap is the best Protoss in the world. There is not a question about that. Everyone is in agreement. Maybe this is finally his time. The guy deserves a Code S championship.
He really does. It's been too long.
No, he's too good not to have one at this point. Yeah. So we'll see what he can do against Dark, but they have a week to train for this, and I think it's going to be just a dynamite series.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I thought tonight was going to be really close and really good. I actually thought PartinG was going to win coming in, honestly. But I guess it's funny because like I feel bad because I said, oh, it's definitely going to be better than the Bunny versus Trap, and now I'm thinking about last season's finals, Maru Rogue, right, where it was like just roaches and just the most one-sided slap.
Yeah,
ever.
where Maru
has to be better
neck,
than that.
Steven Seagal snapped by Rogue.
Yeah. So
yeah, what if it's just like Dark beats Trap and then he takes Trap's wallet? Like, damn, dude.
You can't do that, Dirk.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be a great finals, guys. Don't forget to send in cheerfuls so that we have some cool stuff to look at. Yeah.
You're the best, man.
What else can
this
I
guy's
say
good,
about
man.
it? You know what I mean?
Send in the cheerfuls.
Paint that picture.
Yeah. Do send in the cheerfuls. We're sorry we can't have an audience. Artos has had his super spreader party and spread COVID all over the country. It's all his fault, and here we are.
I'm like a supervillain that used GSL for nefarious means.
Artos has had a party at his house, no mask, spin the bottle being played. Unbelievable.
It was wild.
Yes.
Tasteless.
It
You're
was
just upset
crazy.
I didn't invite you.
I know. I was super bummed out. But join us online. Hopefully by Season 3, maybe we'll be able to open the studio again. Trap vs. Dark should be a much better finals. That's all the time we have, guys. We love you. We will see you a week from now. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.